me a lot of times to hit the press button over here to zoom in. So when I want to zoom in minutely or something, that time I will use this. Otherwise, I will normally keep it medium. If it's minute zooming that I need, I'm going to keep it less, or else it is going to be more if you want. Like you just want to place it, you don't have to go into, the very fine details of the design. Millimeters, normally we are using it in millimeters. You can also place it in inches. When you place this in inches, if you see in Snapgrid also, all these options are present in inches only. I will tell you what is the Snapgrid. Okay, so this is presets is basically to define the size of your work plane, where whatever size you want to keep. So suppose now it is 7.87 and 7.87, so you can keep anything. So I will say 10. If you see, it has increased. Okay, so this is one of the options in that. It is in inches. Let me keep it in millimeters now. Okay, so it is the same. So these are some of the settings that you can use. There is one more settings as well. So based on the printer that you're using, that the print of what is required, like how much is the size of the work plane. If you are aware of the printer that you're going to be using, so you can just use this from here and you can select the printer. It will automatically give you the size of the work plane. So suppose if I'm using Ultimaker to go, and I'm just closing the settings. So it is giving me the work plane of that printer. What is the maximum size? So on this size I can design. If not, then we can go by the work plane that is provided by Tinkercad. Okay. So these are some of the settings in work plane. Snapgrid, what exactly is the use of Snapgrid? I'll show you. So now suppose if you're moving an object, for example, let me take an example of this. So now, right now, I have kept the value in Snapgrid as 1 mm. So when I'm moving this object, it is moving by 1 mm here. Okay. So if you want that the object should move in even more precise values, so like I can say 0.1, so it will go like this. If you just want to find there is some two objects that you want to intersect, so based on how you want and what you want, you can change the values of the Snapgrid from here. When you switch the Snapgrid off completely, you are free to move at whatever value you want, or whatever dimension you want to move it to. But normally here we are using it as 1 by default, and based on the design that you're trying to create, you can modify the value of the Snapgrid from here. So these are the two options that are very important when you're creating a design, or especially it is related to your work plane and the movements of the objects that are placed on your work plane. So I've also explained to you about this cruise tool. We are running short of time, so I will quickly explain to you about the code blocks. I hope that you all have been clear by what you all have understood right now. Is that clear, everybody? About the Snapgrid and the settings? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
I
understood.
okay, so I will just quickly rush you through the code blocks. So this is one of the most interesting designs actually when you are creating. So suppose, like, let's go to code blocks. We have created a house, so right now we know it is coming. Right now we are aware of what exactly is required when we are creating a house. Everybody has designed the house when I was designing it, right? So you all are aware of the objects that we have used and of the tools that we have used while creating the design. So now we are going to use the same pattern. I am taking the same example of a house so that you can relate with what you have created when you are actually designing the object, and now when you are going to use the code blocks to design the same object. Okay, so let's just start by relate to what we are doing. So whenever we are first creating the design, or when we were creating the house, what we did was, first thing we did was we took an object and we placed it on the work plane. But remember one thing, one benefit. Now here, when we are designing in the, you can say in the 3D design view there, we were designing, that time we were designing only the object. Here we are using code block design into different components, and then just select those components to create your entire design. You can create multiple designs using the same components. Like I tell you now, when we are creating the house, okay, so first let's start with creating the walls. Okay, so when we are creating the walls, first thing when we were designing there, you took one object and we placed it on the work plane. So we have to, here first what we'll do is, we will, okay, come to the option of create new object. Whenever we are creating something, we can take this option as create new object. So when you're designing the object, first thing we can use is, here it is object 0, but we are dividing the house into different components. Like let's say we'll design the walls first, then the door, then the windows and the roof. So we are dividing it into different components. So what we'll do is, we will break this component here. First we are designing the wall, so I will just name it as walls, so it will be easier for me to understand. Now to design the wall, what we have used there, we had used a box. So we'll go to shape and we'll take the box option. Okay, so once we have used the box, let us set the dimensions of the box. So let's say, let it be like around 60. Okay, let the height come to around 30, and this 30. So here we have the shapes. Okay, here we have these blocks, and here we are dragging these blocks. So we are setting the width, length and the height. When we have done this, let us just see what exactly is the output. So when this is the play button, okay, so we can just play it to see what is happening. So we saw that the wall, a box has come. Whenever we are designing in code blocks, you see that the object always appears on the origin. If you see, there are three lines here, the X, Y, Z axis, and the object is appearing on the origin. Okay, so the not only is the object on the origin, a part of that object, like you can say half of the object, exactly half of the object is below the work plane. So now we have to see to it that we have to bring this box on the work plane. Any design, when you're designing in code blocks, it starts on the origin, and it is always, it goes half below the work plane. So when we are designing, please keep in mind that we have to adjust that. Now, like I have designed this basic box, I have to see to it that first thing I have to bring it above, or you can say on the work plane. So for that, we can use this tool here, that is move. When we are using this move, so the X and Y is fine. I want to just raise it from here. So since the height of this is what we have selected, height as 30. So so if you say this is 30 and I'm saying half of it is below the work plane, so it is 15. So let's just raise it by the value of 1515. Now let's just play and see what exactly is happening. So the object has appeared and it is come on the work plane. So now we can see that it is come on, but this is just a box. Okay, so let's just make the walls for this. Since we have decided to make the walls, so let's use another, in shapes only. Let's use another box, but we have to cut through this. That's why we will see to it that we send hole. Specify the dimensions. We can't keep the same dimensions. We'll have to keep slightly lesser than the original box so that it is cutting through this. So if it is this 60, let me just keep it 56. I'll just reduce by value of 426. Let it be 26. Let's just play and see what is happening. This is the speed of playing. I'll increase the speed so that, no, okay. Let's see what is happening. Okay, so, okay, we are not able to see. Let's see. keep it here right now. Again, same thing. The box has come, but it is come below the work plane like this same thing. So let us use the move option. And similarly, so the box, no height, I want the same. Okay, I will keep the height same because I want to cut this entire thing. So let me keep the height same here. So see, this is something which is trial and error. As and when you are going to do it, you will be changing the value so that you know this. I've changed the height to 30 because see, if I would have kept it 26 and I would have, raised this object to half its height. Suppose height is 26, it would have been like 13 here. When I play it, it will be raised on the work plane. It will be placed on the work plane, but it is not cutting from the top over here. I want these walls to be visible. That's why I want to keep the height of this box the same as 30. Okay, so that the height will be 15. Okay, now let's play and see if it is happening. Okay, so I can see the box. So this is there. Now I have placed the solid object. I have placed the box. Now the next step that I have to do is I have to group it. Once we group it, let's just play and check what is happening. Okay, seems okay to me. So we have designed the four walls of this house. So why I'm saying that we design this separately so that this same components we can club and we can make many designs later. So now we have designed the walls. I will tell you what exactly I mean by the designing the components separately. But for now, I think the walls are ready. So as and when you will change the values, you will know what you have to modify. Now, once we are done with the walls, let's just make the door. Same way we are going to create the door with another object. That is why we are going to add this option, create new object. This is a variable, so we will just change the value to door. Okay. Now, what is the shape that we are going to require for the door? We are going to use the box. So I will just select the box here. Okay. So what is the value that I will want for the door? Now, based on the width, I will just decide like what exactly should I do. You can say I can keep it width, I will keep it 15. Height, let's keep it 15. Length 20. Let's just check what exactly is happening. So I think there is a door come, but this is a solid object. I want the door to be a hole. So we will select the hole option here. And now we will see what exactly is happening. Okay, perfect. So we have got the hole. Unlike any other object, it is gone below the work plane. So we have to adjust it on the work plane. So same process we have to do. We have to move it here. From the Z axis, it is gone half. What is the height of the door that I have kept? It is 15. So half of 15 is gone down. So we have to raise by the value of half. So you can say it can be 7.5. I think. And now I think we are. So the door has already come over here. Now we have to bring it ahead. Okay. We have to bring this slightly ahead. So if you see, we have to when I'm doing this, this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So if I modify the value over here to 1, let's just check what is happening. So it is going that side since it is the positive. Let's keep it -1, but I think we'll have to just raise it a little more. So let's take it -2. Because we want it to come this side and not that side. This is the positive y-axis. This is the negative y-axis. So So the door has come and it is come ahead, but it is still not come completely ahead. It is still not appearing in the front. So I will move it still by value of, say, let me take -4. Since it is 2, let's take -4. Okay, it is still not coming ahead. Okay, finally the door has come ahead. We'll still bring it slightly more ahead so that, you know, it is. Hmm. So this is how the door has been created. Okay. Now, once we have created a door, now I have created the walls, I have created a door. Let me just create the roof. Okay. So for creating the roof, we are going to use the same pattern. Now that I have placed the door, I am going to see to it that I create another object. So same process, create an object, your rename variable. I will put it as roof. Where is the object here? In shapes. So I will take the object over here. Roof length by default is 20. Okay, so once we play it, we know the roof is slightly below. So we will have to move same. See, we have to use the same process over here. Same process again. We'll have to move the roof. First we'll have to place it on the work plane. So we'll have to see. So here only the length is given. So we will just try to say, I will just put a value of 5 and see if it is coming on the work plane with a value of. Okay, I think it has come, but I don't want the roof here. I want it above this box. So right now it is on the work plane. Let's see what is the height of the box. So we will add that to this value and see. So the height of the box is basically 30, and now it is on the work plane with 5. So I will change the value here to 35. 35. And now let's check. It should come exactly on this. Okay. So I think it is exactly. Now we have to just scale it from both the sides. This side, that is the x-axis. So let me see. There is an option of scale. Let's scale it and let's see what is the output of the scale default values. So it is just here. So I wanted to scale from both sides. Let me check. Me. Okay. But I think it is scaled properly around the x, but the y-axis, we need to scale it a little bit more because this is the y-axis. So we can just, let's keep it 2 and see what is happening. First, try with the default values and then you will realize, oh, 2 is becoming even a lot more. So it is coming outside if you see from below like this. So let's just try with 1.5. And I think this should be fine. So this is how we have created the house. We are really running short of time. That's why I will not create the window. But the process for creating the window is the same. So we have created the different components of the house. Now just let us create the final house. This is just to see how exactly the house is appearing. Now to create the final house, we are going to use the same process. But right now here, create object. Let us rename this as house. Okay. So after that, first what we'll do, we will just create copies of different things. So this is how, once these components are ready, you can create multiple objects using these components. That's why design these components separately. So add a copy of whatever components you have designed will appear here. So I will say add a copy of the walls. Okay. Next, I want to add a copy of, can say, the door. Okay. And then again, add a copy of the roof. Okay. So when we are doing all this, after that, we will see to it that we group all these objects together. So we have an option here to create group. So let's create the group. But when we are doing this, there is an already a copy being generated over here while we were designing these components. So when we are creating this design and when we are creating this copy, we have to ensure that the previous copy of whatever design is already there has to be deleted. So let us also just delete these designs, like delete the, you can say the walls, then same, delete the door. These variables you have to pick them from here, and delete the. Okay, so let us just check quickly what is happening. Okay, so the design was designed, and then the previous copy has got what we were trying while doing this has got deleted. So this is how you design. You have to use similar concept, like if you're using the box to create the windows as well. So this is how, see, you will not, you might have to, play with these values a little bit, increase, decrease, observe it, from here, and then you will realize what exactly values are good for your design. So I know it's quite quick, but I hope that you have understood the concept what I'm trying to say, because you can, once you understand this, you can easily try it on your own. Just, you know uh, change the values and do it. I hope you all have understood. Okay, I hope this session has been useful to you. This was the last thing that was pending. So, good luck, and I hope you all have liked it. Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can share your phone number in case of any doubts. We can ask you.
Ma'am, you can call the office number and you can ask for us. We will be available,
They can email.
or you can email us
Office number.
on our IDs. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for such a session, ma'am. Thank you very much. We really tried to do
Thank
it.
you very much,
Hope
everyone.
we could able to do it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. I hope all the best to all of you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Sign off from my account there.
I have signed up. This is my account
I
only.
need my email account. I
Hmm.
just registered.
The video links, I think Ashlesha ma'am, the links, there are no videos as such, but in the textbook, the steps are there. And these steps will be available for your reference. Okay. And you have our email IDs as well in case of any issues. Okay. Thank you very much. Should I?